What's up, Boss Fam? This is your boy DJ the Boss Man coming back to y'all with another video. Just pulled up to the office, got another request for a video from Ron Collins, so shout out to Ron Collins. Wants to know how I feel about working with subcontractors, so I'm gonna give y'all a video about how I feel about the whole subcontracting thing in general. So yeah, stick around, man. If you're new to the channel, go ahead, like, share, and subscribe, especially if you're trying to build a business, a service business, lawn care, commercial cleaning, things like that. You found a great channel, man, because I'm not trying to sell you guys a masterclass or a course or coaching or anything like that. I'm just trying to build a community where I can learn from you, you can learn from me, we can grow together, and you guys get to see all of my mistakes and things that I do in my business so that you don't make the same one. So go ahead, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and we're gonna get it in. Peace.
Embrace everything I used to. Things ain't bad as they used to. Trying to start a revolution, and I don't know what God has planned for my future, but I just want it all. I just want it all. I just want it all.
What's up, Boss Fam? All right, so shout out to Ron Collins again for requesting the video. My take on working with subcontractors. So my very first experience with subcontracting, I had been in the business for probably about 6 or 7 months or so. And so I decided to kind of reach out to my personal, I don't really like to mix business and personal. I like keeping everything very, very separate. But in a moment of desperation, I decided to reach out to my personal Facebook group of people. I made a post on my personal Facebook to see if anybody might know someone who needs a commercial cleaner. And at the time, I kind of had a focus on including the post-construction cleaning and all of my marketing alongside of the janitorial services. So, and in doing that, a couple of people reached out to me. One being an old friend of mine from high school, who was actually working as the superintendent for a general contractor. They had some projects that they were doing, and they wanted us to give them a price. So, and I was like, great, that's awesome. And we ended up doing the job. We ended up getting paid, and everything went great. The only downside to it was that they had a set way that they paid. So they had what they call draws every 10th of the month, and all invoices needed to be in by a certain date in order for your draw to be available, your money to be available for them to pay you. Has to be in by that date so that they can pay you on release your check on the 10th. And so at the time we had done business, it was before the 10th, it was probably around the 20th or so. We did the job, and then we ended up missing the deadline to submit the invoice just because of where we were when they contacted us. And so we had to wait on the 10th of the next month to receive a check. That's wonderful. That's great for people whose business is big enough to withstand that. But for me, in that sense, it just wasn't a scalable way to handle business. But all in all, at that point in time, didn't deter me from using subcontracting or anything like that. I even looked into it a little bit more at that time to kind of see if it was something that would benefit my business. And we're all entrepreneurs. We're all trying to figure out, what's going to work best for us. So I thought about it. I was like, hey, what if I were to just subcontract out some cleaning services through some other companies that already exist? And then I kind of started to think about it. And the more I looked into it, I realized that you would have less control over the quality or what the processes that are done doing that. You hire somebody, they're going to do it their way. Blase, blase. So there's upside and there's downside. You don't have to, if you were to, subcontract out work, you don't have to worry about, payroll and all of that stuff and getting equipment and things like that. You just contract out the work to another company. They handle the work and you handle the billing. And yeah, sounds easy peasy. My personal preference is just to have, more control over the situation and more control over the quality, more control over the branding. My long-term goal is to build a brand. So that's what I'm trying to do, and that's the way I'm trying to set it up. To each his own. To people who love that business model, and if you're going to make that your business model, then I don't think it's a bad business model at all. I think it's a great business model for making money. But if you want to make money, or be known, I just think transparency would probably be the key to that business is being really very transparent. So, but I don't know. I could be wrong. So I would like to hear somebody else's thoughts on whether or not they think that transparency is good or bad in with subcontracting as far as the service industry goes for things like lawn care, window cleaning, pressure washing, general commercial cleaning and stuff like that. It brings me to my next experience. My next experience was actually a really great experience with the subcontractor. I think a couple months after that, we got contacted by the subcontractor that does all the work for Disney. So you guys remember the Disney Store video? That job actually came. We were contracted to do that job by someone who was who they usually go through for all of their work. So, and they ended up loving the work, and we got more jobs from them, and then we ended up being hired direct through Disney. So it worked out great, and I had learned my lesson kind of from the first time, and I was a little less willing to play around with the payment terms and stretching payments out. They wanted us to do a net 30. I decided to kind of give them some pushback on the net 30, and they ended up working with us. Like I kind of explained to them that we're a smaller company. We kind of need our capital to work. We're gonna be there ready. We got equipment and supplies that we need to start the job, and we want to make sure that we have all that stuff ready on day one. So so we did, and they complied, and they actually ended up paying us the very next day. So we came in, we did the job, and and they actually sent credit card information on the next day to run their credit card. So that it worked out great, and they paid us well. So I really couldn't complain about that at all. It ended up working out great. I ended up making 2 great business relationships that still continue to this day. And so yeah, it worked out wonderfully. My most recent experience with the subcontractor, which kind of has turned me off to the entire concept completely. And kind of the more I think about it, the more I dislike the entire idea of subcontracting. And like when you think about it, to me, it really doesn't make any sense to do one way or the other. But anyway, so what happened was I was contacted by a company that claims to do business services, janitorial, pressure washing, lawn care, what have you. Only this company doesn't actually do the business services. They hire out the work. Great, wonderful for them. I love it. Make your money, be an entrepreneur, live the American dream. I'm all for it. But this company, when they approached us, they did initially let us know that we were going to be, one of 13 other companies submitting bids to do this work for them. And so, whatever, I'm not afraid of a little competition. I submitted my bid. There was a whole lot of kind of run around with trying to even meet up with them to do a walkthrough. And so, one, never submit a bid without having seen the entirety of the facility, in the scope of work that you're going to be doing. At least you got to be able to get eyes on it, or have the salesperson or a rep get eyes on what they're actually bidding or what they're actually quoting, so that you don't get into situations like this. Because I really messed myself up and put my company in a tight spot by doing this. So we had trouble meeting when I came to do the quote, and turn it in a way. I guess it led to me not being able to see a few sections of this facility that they wanted a bid for. But it's just kind of taking the information that I knew about square footage and the description and the scope of work, and the description that they told for me. I kind of gave them an estimate. to kind of be discussed later. Long story short, they liked it, got back to me, and yeah, said they wanted to go ahead, but they had a whole lot of stipulations to go along with the work. For one, they didn't want us. Number one, they didn't want us to wear our uniforms, which they didn't want any. The G code. They didn't want any of that stuff anywhere visible. So they didn't want that to show. They wanted us to also wear their shirts with their company's branding. It was a job that would have taken a 5-person team, but they didn't want us to drive our company branded truck. So, all the employees kind of had to either carpool or drive themselves out to this location, which was, it was kind of out there. It's not in the middle of nowhere, but it was kind of on the edges of our service radius. So, just difficulties up front, and but it was a really big job. So, and I didn't want to say no, and it was a decent amount of money, definitely north of 6 figures in this job by itself, just easily clears 6 figures by itself. And so I really wanted to take a shot at it, and yeah, I made all the wrong decisions on that one, kind of by submitting numbers without seeing the entire facility and the scope of work, and not seeing the red flags, like them kind of creating all of these reasons why they weren't able to meet at the right times, and why we weren't able to see certain areas of the facility until the day of, and a whole bunch of stuff like that. But when it came time to do the work, we're in there getting things done. The clients loved the results of the day one results of the cleaning. Things were going great. As things continued, I started to realize that there's a lot more involved in the cleaning that obviously that we hadn't seen or hadn't heard of or hadn't had a chance to discuss. And now we're in the middle of the cleaning. So, when that happens, the communication breakdown at the top is always going to trickle down. So now, my employees and their company's employees are button heads, and there was people calling names and kind of being disrespectful back and forth. It just created a really horrible working environment, and but yeah, it was really bad. It got really unprofessional, and so I decided to kind of to back out of that deal. So, but yeah, it really turned me off to the entire concept of working with subcontractors and subcontracting. I really like businesses that are the businesses they claim to be, that actually do the work that they claim to do. And if your company claims to hire out work, then claim to hire out work. Don't try to make it seem like that's not what you do, or make it seem like you actually do this work when you don't actually do this work. And that's kind of just my personal opinion about it. Yeah, and to take it even a step further, it's kind of how I feel about using things like Home Advisor. I don't do Home Advisor. I'm definitely not going out of my way to reach out to any more contractors. I probably even won't accept jobs from subcontractors if they come my way again, just because it's a little bit too muddy. And from what I learned, they like to pay you when they want to pay you. That big job, actually, they only paid net 60. So another big thing that I should not have done was to try to cover that type of expense with my small ass company for 60 plus days. This was not a smart idea. Didn't have the capital to do it. So yeah, like I said, I put my company in a really tough spot by making that mistake. But it was smart of me to back out of that deal as soon as I realized that was not sustainable. So where was I? But yeah, be quick to cut losses quickly, man. If things aren't working out, things aren't going right, don't sit there and lose money. You gotta act fast, act swiftly, and correct correct those mistakes. But yeah, I was talking about the how that ties into like working with things like Home Advisor and Angie's List, Amazon services, especially Amazon services. This should probably even be a completely separate video, but I'm gonna go ahead and just give it to you guys right now. Do not use these services. If you are trying to build a company and you're trying to build a brand, do not buy leads from a service that is gonna give you no brand equity. If people actually start purchasing your service from Amazon or from Home Advisor, and that's the way that they go about purchasing that service in your area, you're out of the picture. It doesn't matter. They use Home Advisor now, and you are now at the whim of Home Advisor or Amazon. Amazon even more so, because we've seen them do it to other huge companies. So don't fall into that trap. I'll make a completely separate video for that type of stuff. But yeah, do things that keep your brand equity. Don't go get leads for yourself. Build your leads yourself. It's not hard. Make your name. Get your name out there. Get your brand in front of your customers, and you be the go-to person for whatever your service is. It's not the way to go. But yeah, that's pretty much my take on it, man. So subcontractors in general, for me, that's gonna be a no for me, dog. And my Randy Jackson from American Idol voice. But yeah, man, if you guys have any thoughts, man, shout them out to me. Again, shout out to Ron Collins for the video suggestion. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.